Hey, it's Monday all day. And today is Monday Men's Mental Health Check. So let's jump into it. Let's talk about it, men and their mental health. Dive right into it with our Men's Mental Health Day. I got a lot of feedback from my men's mental health, my black and brown man that's just kind of suffering in silence with their mental health because they try to hold everything in, right? And I got great feedback from that. So I'm like, you know what? God told me to start back in this, and we're gonna jump right into it. We're gonna jump right into it and take this seriously because it is something that's serious. So Monday, men's mental health. Here we go. And our question was, what if you just can't afford counseling, which is true. Some people cannot afford counseling. I'm in Dallas, Texas area, and I do know that there's a lot of resources for people who cannot afford counseling. Like, I do know churches that do counseling for free. Like I said, when I did that video, I'm also a life coach. I will not charge anything to help you navigate through things. And also another resource that you have is YouTube. YouTube is really good. It's actually a man named Jonathan. His last name starts with a B. You can look him up on YouTube. He's really good with man's mental health and just helping you navigate through it every day. Almost every day he gives a message. You can go back and watch all of his videos. He is great. He is great. So if you just cannot afford counseling, because I get it, you can't afford it, it's something you cannot do, right? A lot of free resources. Please look out in your community and see if there's any resources, especially if you know a man that is suffering from mental health, or if you know a man that may not have mental health, but he's just struggling mentally. Look up in your community, is there any free services? A lot of times there's a lot of free services, and also just looking at videos and things like that. Great. If they go to church, and I think I said this, like talking to the pastor or the deacon of the church, most of the times that stuff is free. You can do it that way. I also suggest, if you cannot afford a counselor and you don't go to church, a lot of times there's a lot of older men in your community that you can just sit and talk to that can give you a lot of wisdom from them being once where you are. And you can also just navigate it that way. But man, we just have to support them, but we also have to know if they decide not to do what they need to do, it's not our fault as women, because sometimes we can lose us trying to help them find them. So I don't want to make this be a thing where it's just like, oh, you have to keep fighting for them. Yes, but after so long, if they're not willing to accept the help, we just go to God and pray. That's all we can do, is just pray to God and hope that God gets a hold of them. Real, especially with our black and brown men, y'all, they carry a lot. They carry a lot from childhood all the way up, because we have to remember our black and brown men from little babies was told, you a man, suck it up. You can't cry. And it's like, why not? Why can't he cry? So that was something that I never understood. Like, even with my cousin, like he can't cry. Why not? He has feelings even as a kid. And I stayed in trouble a lot. But it was just because of the way that, little boys was treated. Like, if you are taught to hold all that in, you end up aggressive, you end up angry, you end up frustrated, you end up snapping and blowing up like a ticking time bomb, because you're holding all of that in. So it causes you to be aggressive. And that's what's happening with our black and brown men. Like, let's look at what's going on in the world right now. The gentleman who unalived his kids and shot I think it was the wife and the sister of the wife. Frustration, build up, holding everything in, going through a divorce, and he was holding it all in. He was holding it all in. He was screaming on his social media platform for relief, for help. And everybody just kind of, just slid right over it and, okay, yeah, he'll be okay. It is a serious thing. When the divorce thing happened, it was happening. That was it. He could not take it anymore, right? And we have to take this thing seriously, but we also have to know when it's time for us to raise our hands up, women. We can't just keep nagging, because that will cause them to snap, right? We can lead them to the water. We cannot make them drink, like I said before, but we can support. Their backpacks are heavy. They carry a lot of weight. Men carry a lot of weight. Men lose themselves and don't know who they are because they're trying to hold up the family. And what I mean by that, like before they even have their own family, they're already trying to help their immediate, like not their immediate family, like mama, daddy, sisters, brothers, cousins. Like, so they have all this weight in their backpack and they're trying to walk. And they have their bricks that they're carrying, and then they have the family bricks that they're carrying, and they're feeling obligated to make sure their sister, their brother, their mama, their daddy, their grandma, their cousins, everybody is okay. Okay, and this is before they even have their own family. Let's not forget about that. Okay, so now I already have this backpack, and then I decide, okay, I want to be a husband. Or maybe I'm not, another backpack on my back that's getting more bricks in it. Let's talk about husband. All of those bricks. So you got your wife, you got your children, you got your wife's family, your wife's mother, father, all of those things, because now I'm not just taking her on, I'm also taking on her family, like it's one, right? So now I have all of these bricks, and you're not expecting me to blow up. But then that's also why, what does it say in the Bible? When a man finds his wife, he's supposed to lead that family. Like, not saying don't do nothing for your family, never go around your family, but step back from them so some of the bricks get taken out. Not saying that you can't help. You're not supposed to be there for your mom. Yes, you are. You're supposed to do all of those things, but he leaves his family. It's in the Bible. So, and that will relieve some of that stress. Like, you can't be in your house and also carrying another house, right? You can't be in your house carrying the stress of your brother, carrying the stress of your sister, carrying the stress of your cousin's problems, or you're not saying that you can't help them. And that's what people have to realize. It's not saying just abandon them if they call you and say, oh, look, such and such happened. I really need you. Can you come do this? I'm on the side of the road. Yes, you still go help them as the man in the family, but it's not caring as much as you once was. Like, you have to put your family first. So if your wife needs something and your family needs something, both at the same time, you don't have the worries of who am I going to do this with? Who do I need to do this for? Your wife come first, right? So, man, we have to learn how to, come on, you have to help yourself, and you can't get upset when people are looking at you and saying, okay, you're doing it to yourself. And that's what I want us to realize. And that's why I said I'm not trying to be mean, but we have to realize what's healthy for us. And sometimes us backing away, man, hear me, please. Get this through your head. You being the most important person for you mentally is going to save the people that you love. Because when you don't put you first, it's damaging the people that you love. Please hear that. And then you end up losing very valuable people in your life that meant nothing but good, because you didn't know how to put you first, and it damaged what you had with them. I need you to hear that. Get that through your skull. If you really care about, if you have a wife, if you have someone, a woman in your life that's a significant other, If you have those things, and you have a good one, someone who's literally there, and willing to help you from the end of the moon to the beginning of the moon until the sun comes out. If you're not eliminating the chaos from your life, you're going to create chaos within inside of y'all. And if you're not dealing with the issues that you have, that chaos will come with y'all. Those issues will come with y'all. So then any little thing that y'all go through, somebody left the light on, it's big. We both bought the same item and we didn't discuss it. That's big. If you don't deal with it, any little thing will make you explode. So men, listen at me. The only way you are going to have a productive and safe, healthy relationship, I don't care how calm the woman is. I don't care how much praying she do. I don't care how soft-spoken she is. I don't care if she gives you everything that your heart desires. And women, this also, you need to hear this. I don't care how soft-spoken you are. I don't care if you cook, you take his plate, you get his plate, you wash his clothes, you pour into him, you give him breathing strength. Baby, just take the, I don't care what you do for a man. If that man is not willing to work just as hard as you are fighting for him, it's not going to work. And you will lose yourself trying to help him find out who the best version of him is. Y'all both have to be willing to work for it. And man, you have to be willing to work for it. You can't get mad at someone else because your life is not going the way that you want it to go if you're not doing the work. And when you already have a lot going on in your life and then something new comes on, and what I mean, maybe you lose your job. Maybe the car breaks down. Maybe you have a death in the family. Maybe your wife gets sick. Maybe your kids get sick. If you're not dealing with your mental health, seeing a counselor, going to the bishop, going to the pastor, seeing a life coach, having someone to let that out with in a positive way, you are going to finally explode. You will eventually explode. These messages that I'm giving about mental health is not to shame anybody, not to hurt anybody, is to open up eyes, especially with our community, because we think, oh, I don't need to go, or I went when I was a kid, or I went when I was 20. Baby, life has gave us so many different things, obstacles right now that what I was doing when I was 10 in counseling, 20, 30, whole different ball game, because we went through COVID. We went through so many different things that are drastic, watching so many things. Like we have social media. Social media in itself is not healthy. If you're strolling all the time, you are putting toxic stuff into your body. Like we don't just have to eat things that are toxic or smell things that are toxic. We can stroll and find toxic. What made me remove myself from social media the way I was, because God told me, go and stroll down your timeline and look at what you're looking at. Look at your posts. What are you posting? And it was an eye opener for me. It was a big eye opener for me. I was like, oh, this is horrible. And bam, now I'm hardly ever on Facebook. Wasn't ever on Instagram. I'm not even really on TikTok anymore. Not on, what is the rest of them? Snapchat, all those other ones, this new ones. I'm not on any of those. I may get on, get right back off, but it's not my whole entire life. And baby, this is what I do for a living, content. And a lot of people say, well, I'm on there because no, it's an excuse, especially if you're being negative on there. And most of the stuff that you look at is negative. Like in our city, it's Smash the Topic. People, no, that's negative. So I'm not, no. About always talking negative about women, always talking negative about men. That is not healthy content. And man, what you have to realize when you are posting things about women that's negative, that's bashing a woman. It's not healthy. And it hurts the women that you love. Even if you're not talking directly about them, that hurts. And women, it's the same thing if you're bashing men. Even if it's not talking about the men that are in your life, that hurts because you're talking down on their gender. But most importantly, God does. And allow him to be the navigation of your life. He will not steer you wrong. And